Thanks for popping on tonight. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen right away and let you grab this ebook that was written for Silver Retreat. So I'm going to share my screen, pop it over here, and let you go ahead and use that QR code. And then you will have this ebook in your hands. So this is called Growth Factor Products in Season. So this was created and branded by Young Living because this is the beginning of what they want some of us brand partners to be doing. There, I muted you, Stacy. I got you, girl. They're going to be asking different leaders to do some ebooks like this, and they're going to brand them for Young Living so that we can all learn from them, and they will be put into our digital library eventually, and we'll have access to a lot of knowledge from all of us that have been in the field. So grab that. There's the static link if you want to grab that, or the QR code. And they asked me just to talk about this book. So when I was asked to speak at Silver Retreat, they wanted me to speak about my experiences with Gary. You know, some of us got that awesome experience to travel with Mary and Gary and our Young Living family all around to learn. And one of the things that I prized my learning was traveling to all the farms and getting a piece of the farms. And then all of a sudden, Gary kept buying more farms. So as soon as I thought that I was finished visiting the farms, we would acquire more farms. And that was a beautiful piece to all of our travels that we did. And so I really like this wheel. It goes along with two things. And that's why I called it Growth Factor, because I truly believe, I mean, I'm going to be talking product, but I always integrate a little business in there as well, because I truly believe that there's seasons of growth as well. Not only seasons of growth of our oils, of what we're growing in the fields, but what we're doing as business. And so I see our business as cadences, as a rhythm of how we do life out here. So January, February, and March are our winter. April, May, and June are spring. July, August, September is summer, and October, November, December is fall. So if we're following this cadence, we know that we have to ramp up for January, February, March with a lot of education, a lot of goal planning, all of that. And we come into April, May, and June, and we're really coming into that spring awakening, kids getting out of school, talking about summer things, and then going into our beautiful convention that we have most of the time in June. July, August, and September is all about follow-up and gearing up for the fall, which is high selling season and high growth season for reaching out to everyone we know about the goodness of Young Living and really ramping up for our holiday catalog and our Black Friday and Cyber Monday and our holiday shopping. So that's kind of how I see it. And I see it go right along with our products of the season also. So just to have that disclaimer, I'm not going to read it, but you know, we always have to have a disclaimer in our presentations. So it's telling you that little disclaimer there. So this is broken up into daily longevity, and we came up with the term, the apothegary. And so our apothegary is our collection, and this is about supplements tonight. So I'm just going to keep going. There is a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens. Nice little scripture there. So this book is a way to seasonize how you take care of yourself. So choose your supplement support from the daily core nutrition, the apothegary first. Then you'll learn which organs need support and choose the optimal products for every season. So we've broken it up into areas of the body per season, and you'll see that come alive here as we go through that. So we focus on adding these products into your regimen for 3 months to watch how your body responds. We've always been told that it takes 3 months to change a cell. So taking a supplement for 3 months straight really makes that shift start to happen. I always say Young Living makes shift happen. So you have to guess and check and watch it, watch yourself and watch your body and really be conscious of the shifts. And then the third one is add new seasonal products to your regimen as you progress throughout the year. Season by season, you will support your entire body, bringing stability and vitality to your lifestyle. So I don't know about you guys, but in my world, one of the first things that people ask me is, how do you know where to begin? So they get their oils, they get their starter kit, and they get going on oils, but then they look at all of our supplements and they go, okay, where do I begin? So this is a way that I came up with after spending time with Gary on the farm many years ago in 2010, I think it was, maybe 11. My first silver retreat, when I went there, and I spent an all-nighter with Gary Young. And what I mean by that is we had this amazing story that he lost his equipment, his camera equipment. So I'm standing in the library, in the lobby, and he comes out and he's just white-faced. And it's like 11 p.m. I'm standing there with a good friend of mine from Australia. And her and I looked at him, we're like, are you okay? And he said, no, I'm not. I just told you all the stories about Peru and taking all this footage in Peru that I just got back from that trip. And now I cannot find my camera equipment. It's not in my car. It's not in my room. It's not anywhere. And I paused for a minute and I said, let's go up to the lobby and sit down. And we all grabbed some water and we're sitting there. And he's like, I just can't figure it out. And everybody's asleep. So I was an event coordinator for the American Cancer Society previous to this and previous to kids. So my mind started reeling like an event coordinator. And I said, I'll be right back. And I went to the front desk and I said, I have an issue. We've lost some equipment and I'm with Gary Young. Is there any possibility that there's more than one Gary Young in this hotel? And how did that even come to me? I don't know. Call it inspiration. I'm not sure. But she looked at me kind of like I was crazy. And then she looked and she goes, as a matter of fact, there is. And I said, there's 2 Gary Youngs in this hotel. She said, yeah. I said, well, can we knock on the other Gary Young's room and see if he has this camera equipment? She's like, oh, ma'am, it's almost midnight. There's no way you can do that. You've got to wait till 6 a.m. So of course, Gary tried to work with her. I tried to work with her and nobody would budge. We had to wait till 6 a.m. to find out where this equipment was. So Gary's like, all right. He rolls up his sleeves. He's like, all right, let's make the best of this. What are we going to talk about all night? So we literally pulled an all-nighter of learning in the lobby of this hotel, the Coeur d'Alene, back then we went to St. Mary's for the Silver Retreat. And we talked about so many amazing things. So he taught us about his origin. He knocked out all the reasons why Young Living. He went through all of that. He shared stories about one of my favorite pieces about our company, and our company is a very spiritual company. And he shared stories about his faith and his relationship, what he called our Father, which many of us call God, but he used the word my Father. He educated us on how products were formulated to support our important needs in our body. And this is what our company is founded on, that you've seen the quotes that nothing is created for a profit. It's always a product is created for that need. And you know that famous quote. And it's really about him listening to what came his way and he created a product. And so he talked about how real all of that was and how it's important for us to keep that legacy going consistently by understanding our products and when things are cultivated in the fields, when they're distilled for our oils, and also why and when and how he made all of these supplements for us to utilize. So after I did that, I was like, is he talking about Chinese medicine? What is he talking about there? And I looked at it closer and closer, and I made sense of it using some of my reference materials. One of them is Stacy Kimbrell's right there, Living Balanced, with all of our cleansing book, and Ultimate Balance by another member who's a chiropractor, Dr. Leanne Deardoff, and some of our older resources that have been around and they keep improving. I know we keep upgrading those. And I wanted to put this together for the whole company as they asked me to talk about something in Silver Retreat. And I was like, well, this is what I learned at Silver Retreat. I learned how to do our supplements in a big, big way. So here we are with our apothecary. Now I have simplified this. So some of you are going to say, but I want this in my apothecary. Of course, put whatever you want to in your apothecary. But for us to make it simple, we have Mighty Pro. How many of us love our Mighty Pro and utilize it daily and even maybe twice a day just because it tastes so good? It's such a great tasting way to get pre and probiotics. Our Life 9, I don't know about you, but all the sales, I just unwrapped a whole bunch of boxes and I've got Life 9. And no longer am I taking one Life 9 at night. I'm taking maybe 3 to even 5 Life 9 at night currently, just to get my microbiome where it needs to be before the holidays. Master Formula being our full spectrum complex of nutrition, and then Ningxia Red, our liquid nutrition. So foundational support in the apothecary is right there. Now I want to point out a couple of things while I'm educating. I have spent the last year of my life rewriting content for Young Living, making it compliant, but pushing the edge on what we can say with the claim files that Young Living has on our supplement. So everything that you find in this book is also on our new US website. And all those descriptions we call them the one-liners, the main description of those products are all compliant language, and it's what we can say compliantly about that product. So that's what's in here as the content that's in here. So then we have our superhero supplements, Super B, Super C, and Super D. So while I talk about this, I want you to know that I'm going to give you, and these are the things that are not in this book, I'm going to give you some quick tips that are more in depth. And so when you see these big arrows, that's when I'm going to give you some tools that are more in depth. So super vitamin D. These are ways to share this and know what makes our D vitamin better than others. It's natural fast meld technology. I like that word, fast meld technology. So you can take less and have better absorption. So a lot of people were up in arms, when it was only 1,000 milligrams per dose, because they wanted more. But this is dosed so that it can be safe for kids as well as you don't need to take as many of ours to get the effect that you would of others. It's entering into your buccal cavity. Our saliva dissolves it fast. So right under the tongue, it does not go through your stomach, and therefore it stays more active. It's easy for your liver to pick up and assimilate, and it supports your body's natural respiratory health. It has lemon balm extract to support the regulation of mood and hormones. You may say, why does it not have vitamin K? This is purposeful. So a lot of us do the research, and we know that usually to absorb vitamin D, you have to have A, E, and K. You can take too much vitamin K, and in our supplement regimens, we want people to be able to take multiple of our supplements. So we already have K in our master formula and our Super Cal Plus. Vitamin K is needed for vitamin D absorption to support bone health. But without vitamin K, this vitamin D supplement is more absorbable for supporting the respiratory and the immune system. So you'll get your vitamin D in some other areas, but you can take it separate to get more immune response and respiratory response. So I want you to hear this quote from Gary. We believe that you and your family deserve products that are genuine, free of synthetic chemicals. Seed to Seal is both a promise to you and a reflection of our sense of global stewardship. So that's what we talked about in order to make this all come alive. We also have boosters. I put a list here. Golden turmeric is one that I don't know about you, but we've forced it out of stock. It'll be back in if it's not already. Is it back in yet, Amanda? Do you know? I don't know if it is. I have an abundance because I bought a ton. And my good friend Danette Goodyear, when we were at the Raindrop training and facilitating together, she's like, Pam, sprinkle it on this and sprinkle it on that. And now it's like the sprinkler, it's like the salt and pepper to my foods because I'm sprinkling it on everything. And that golden turmeric supports your body's natural response to inflammation. Now, this is a product that you can say that. And that's what is so incredible, that not every product can we say that it supports the natural response to inflammation. So make sure you take that to your advantage. Turmeric or turmeric, whichever way you say it, it's like potato patata, contains natural occurring actives such as curcuminoids that help support joint mobility, supports a healthy immune response, helps support healthy digestion, and gut-brain axis support. It contains prebiotics also, such as tapioca fiber. So it's important to put that in the morning as well as the evening. I think most of the education says do it at night, but I like to sprinkle a little bit on my breakfast, whatever it is, in my smoothie, or if you're having yogurt, or even if you're having toast with butter, sprinkle a little turmeric on there. Formulated with one of the most bioavailable forms of turmeric on the market. So that's a big one. So these are the boosters that I chose. You may choose different boosters. Sulfurzyme, we know we love the big red drink. So there's the red drink recipe for those of you that haven't heard of it. Surely you have. But this is big because of the wolfberry polysaccharides, which are also prebiotics. So we need those prebiotics to help everything function throughout the day and grab a hold of our probiotic and take it through the system. So then this is the funnest part of this book, is that each season has a whole page that you can use all by itself as a graphic. And I'm going to switch over because I'm going to switch to a different one because I want to show you how to use that page. So hold the boat here. Got to find my little thing. I'm going to create a new share and I'm going to take you to the actual ebook, and it's in both forms. But if I go through these pages, I want to get to that page and look what you can do. So on this page, it has our oils that are harvested and where in that season. It has an emotion and affirmation for that season. And notice I clear this channel. I am in perfect timing. Foods of the fall, and then a movement sequence and a protocol. So here is your fall season. And in the fall, we support large intestines and lungs. For fall, we have 2 of them. So notice this, if you click on, when you get this ebook, you click on that YouTube and it'll take you to my YouTube channel and you have a movement sequence. Can you see that, or do I need to share a new screen? Let me share a new screen so that you can see it. Hold on one second. A little bit to share with you. Let me show you that. So a really, really simple movement sequence for each one. Into your hand. I'm at a hotel filming this. Together and rub them down onto your belly, your large intestine. So notice it's only 5 minutes long, and it will take you through a really simple movement sequence that anyone can do. You literally could watch this movement sequence and do it in bed before you get out of bed. You could literally do it at your desk and just push away and do the same movement while sitting in a chair. You could do it before you go to bed. So I just want you to know that that book is loaded with tools for you to utilize. Okay, I'm going to switch my screen share once again. All right, so right there, this doesn't click, or I would click it because of the way this is just my PowerPoint presentation, but in the ebook, it is clickable. So large intestines colon, it gives you a little bit of information about the large intestine and then goes right into cleansing with it and the other product protocols that you can do while you're in fall season. So we're at the very end of fall season right now. So if you haven't put in some of these products this fall, now is your chance to do so. So that's the protocol, ICP Daily. Let's talk about that. I really want it to be called Fiber Daily or something that it really is, because it's confusing. ICP Daily is different than ICP. ICP Daily is really a prebiotic, a high fiber supplement. It's for daily use to get your trains moving to the station. Yep. Prebiotic is more stable than a probiotic. Prebiotics support your probiotics by providing a healthy environment in the gut so probiotics can thrive. That's basically what I said a little earlier. We have a lot of prebiotics in our lineup. We have Sulfurzyme, Master Formula, and Mighty Pro all have prebiotics, as well as that turmeric and this ICP Daily. And then, of course, if you're not taking your enzymes, read the descriptions of the enzymes and see which ones you gravitate to. My 3 that I use on a regular, I use all 3. I take 1 essential zyme in the morning, every morning, and then I use essential zyme 4 at meals. So they better come in back in stock really soon. By the way, things are out of stock, not because Young Living doesn't have it together. It's more of the times. I don't even like saying the C word, but it's more about the containers and the way products get put together, like lids or push packs or things like that, that we have trouble getting. It's not the product. So just send some good vibes for shipping and for all the product containers and things that we need so we can get our products out. And then I use Detoxzyme at the end of the day to help my body flush out what does not need to be there during the day. So that's kind of those are the 3 enzymes that I purposefully use. And then hopefully you know about Digize and peppermint. Digize being that big, I call it the big D, and peppermint being just that lovely addition to helping us be invigorated as well as a healthy digestive system. Now, one of the things that we've gotten approved is that we don't have to just show the vitality label to talk about it. We all know that the colorful labels and the white labels are the exact same oil. So now we have lifted that through Young Living, that we're not going to get in trouble by talking about the red labeled Digize or the green labeled peppermint and talk about it being ingested. We do have that white label as well, and we can talk about that Digize and peppermint can be used all 3 ways. So just know that when you're educating. So there's that quote from Gary showing up. And here's fall number 2. And here it is for lungs. So the movement sequence will change and it'll be all for the lungs. Your emotion and affirmation will change as well. And then the protocol for the lungs changes too. So what do we do to support our lungs? I personally got involved with Young Living. Actually, Young Living found me because of my lungs. So I was teaching a kids yoga class and I had 3 more to go. And a massage therapist in my yoga studio said, Pam, I'm feeling like you need some help to breathe deeply. And I'm like, I would love it. And so what did she do but put Raven on my chest and RC on my back? And I felt amazing. And I went home that night and I looked at my 2 boys who at that time were 5 and 7 years old. And they were playing and then getting ready for bed. And Ben, my oldest, had to do breathing treatments at that time. He had a nebulizer, he had an inhaler, he was on all kinds of meds, about 4 to 5 different meds before he went to bed so that he could breathe deeply. So I looked at him and I touched my chest. I remember it like it was yesterday. And I touched my chest and went, I wonder if what is on my chest would help his chest. And so I went back that next day to the studio and I said, tell me more. And they sat me down and they educated me on oils. And I ordered, back then we didn't have a starter kit. And I ordered the ancient oils of the Bible because I was working at my church a lot and doing a lot of education through my church. And I ordered the Golden Touch 1 kit. And that kit is RC, Raven, Juvaflex, Endoflex, Tea Tree, Thieves, and Melrose. And I wanted that Raven on RC. So I ordered that kit. And right when I got it, I started putting it on my son's chest and back. And 2 months later, we went to his doctor and the doctor said, I don't know what you're doing, but whatever you're doing, keep doing it. I can take some of these medications away and you just keep being you and doing what you're doing. Well, I'm going to tell you, it wasn't just the essential oils that I was doing. I was also doing cranial sacral therapy with them, yoga breath work. I was doing Reiki every night. We were doing yoga kids. We were doing all kinds of holistic modalities, because not only did I need him to be able to breathe deeper, I also needed to work on his special needs. And we did that. So I learned everything. So I'm a yoga instructor of 25 years, a health practitioner, all these things. And why? I did it to learn how to take care of me, to put my own oxygen mask on so that I could then take care of my son. And through learning all those modalities, he tested out of his individual education plan by 4th grade. So when we started using oils, he was in 2nd grade. And when he tested out of all of the help that he needed, he was in 4th grade. And we never went back. Like, that allergist was like, you got this. And we did. And we never went back. And that same little boy that was 7 is now 26 years old. And he's a trumpet professional. He's getting his doctorate at University of Cincinnati for trumpet performance. And he blows a horn 5 hours a day. So that's my claim to fame testimonial for what are oils and what all these modalities, when you learn different holistic modalities, and better out than in, as we know, hopefully you know that when you're using holistic remedies and holistic supplements, that sometimes it may get worse before it gets better, because you're flushing it out. You're not camouflaging it in. And hence why, if I go back, hence why I have the emotional support on here. Because as you do these protocols through the seasons, things may come up. You may find things flushing out of you. And that's when you need to do the movement, and when you need to do the affirmation and really take that in and use the emotional side of the oils to also help the physical side. It's an emotional into the physical and the physical into the emotional. So that's hence why I put together all that I put together in that way. So this goes through it. It gives you a place to write. Everybody is biologically and bioelectrically different. I love this quote. I found this by listening to Gary's CDs. And I love this quote because I've always said we're all snowflakes. So what works for me may not work for you. So just because I had that testimonial with my son, you may not have that with your son or daughter or yourself. You may have to use other products, other techniques, but I would invite you to give these a try. So there's the protocol for that. Then we go into winter. So winter, Highland Flats has tons of oils going. How many of us love the new Evergreen Essence? I mean, every morning, my protocol is Evergreen Essence on the bottom of my feet. Then I put my Valor on, but I start with Evergreen Essence. And I will say that I have been very above the wellness line for this whole year. And I've traveled every single week on an airplane. So I'm going to tell you that my 2 oils that keep me in a really great place emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually, and socially is Evergreen Essence and Gary's Light. I don't want to have this opportunity to talk to all of you without saying that. Evergreen Essence and Gary's Light are your best friends to keep you above the wellness line in all those ways, especially in the times that we're in. So this is all about kidney and bladder in the winter months. And it's very exciting to be able to support the kidneys with movement. And then you'll see that there's bladder movement as well. So I really, really, really want to encourage you to go to these movement sequences and try them out. And please send me Facebook messages or Instagram messages and tell me what you think, because I've been doing them and they're simple and they're just a part of my life. So I'd love for them to become a part of your life. 3 Wiseman is one of my favorite essential oils for meditation. And I love this affirmation. I allow myself to be real. I am lovable. There's 5 things that I teach as a health coach and yoga instructor and helping people through life. And the first one is I am seen. I am heard is the second. I am desired and wanted. Yeah, I am worthy and I am loved. When you can get yourself to work on all 5 of those and you feel like those are happening for you, I'm seen, I am heard, I am desired and wanted, I am worthy, and I am loved, then you are enough. But for all those people out there coaching, I am enough, in my opinion, you got to work on all those to get to that place where, yes, of course you're enough. But work on those pieces, and this seasonal work is part of that. And it's kind of like a back door to working on all of that, because these affirmations, and if you really work on the movement and you really use the product and you really work on the emotions and the affirmation, I promise you there will be a shift. We know what these oils do. We know what our products do. The oil of Sarah for the winter. We're just coming into these winter months. So if you don't have these, please get them. I appreciate. I am fulfilled within myself. Those are really big for some of us to say. Really big. So this protocol is easier for the winter. I think that's because we're in hibernation too, that we need it to be a little simpler as the colder months. If you're in the US and you're in an area where it's colder, our body needs to work less. So this is an easier thing. K&B is a daily supplement that nutritionally supports normal kidney and bladder health. This is a Young Living exclusive, and it's powered by juniper berries, uva ursi, and parsley. Young Living rounds out the formula with the premium and essential oils of clove, fennel, Roman chamomile, sage, and juniper. So explore K&B this winter with a little juniper, a little melrose, and a little lemongrass. So we move into spring. Okay, we're just branching into winter and we're already thinking spring. I'm going to embrace winter, but when it comes to spring, we've got a lot to do because this is liver and gallbladder. And there's a lot to be done with liver and gallbladder. So by the time spring rolls around, I'd say get ready, get your protocols, get your mindset, because this can be a big one. Okay, so we start usually with fall. So get that fall in first, get your microbiome going, get your digestion working, get your colon hydrated, then go into winter and really support your kidneys and bladder so that your filtration is working through you, and then work the liver. The liver. Woo! These affirmations are going to be big, and it's probably an oil. A lot of us acquaint the liver with release oil because of the feelings kit and the things that we learn through the feelings kit. But I want you to embrace purification this spring and really putting purification. And now we know that purification is exactly what it says, purifying. So I smile and laugh, my direction is clear. So we focus on the positive. If you know anything about holistic wellness, you know that we hold anger and sometimes even resentment in the liver. So we want to turn it into that positive and say, I smile and laugh, my direction is clear. And then what are the products of the liver? Before we, I went the opposite direction. Before we go into the products, look at all that we harvest in spring and put a lot of love around that. I want to really talk about the Incan Melissa. That Incan Melissa is, we all know about Melissa that is harvested in St. Mary's, I hope. And I keep saying we all know, and that's to invite you, if you don't know, find out, because you want to be part of the whole family of Young Living that knows. So when I say that, that's an invitation. But the Incan Melissa is not the same plant. We can harvest twice as much, 4 times as much of this Incan Melissa, and it has been tested to have the same properties of the lemon balm Melissa that we get elsewhere. So it's priced more affordably. So if you have not explored Incan Melissa, make sure it's on your list to get and to utilize, especially in the spring when it's harvested. So, but don't wait for that. You want to get it now because it's wonderful. So forgiveness in the bladder, in the gallbladder, is I am aware. I learn from all of life's experiences. This movement, because liver and gallbladder are directly across from each other in the body, the same movement sequence works both the liver and the gallbladder. So have fun with those as you go into these products. So all of our Juva products are labeled that way because of rejuvenate is the thought process behind Gary Young when he created these. And we had, I don't think it's in production right now, a rejuvenate booklet, which I hope to bring back in the future. Rejuvenate. So that's where the Juva. So we have Juva Flex, Juva Cleanse, Juva Power, and Juva Tone. And they all have a different power to them. I'd also like to see Juva Spice come back to our regimens because I still have some Juva Spice. We have Juva Spice out there. I put it on my potatoes. I put it on my eggs. I put it in my salads. I'm like constantly sprinkling Juva Spice on everything. But these are amazing oils to apply and use internally as well as topically. So explore those. And a way to help you cleanse the liver and gallbladder is our good friend Stacy Kimbrell's book, Living Balanced. So this is something that I use every spring. I even use it other times of the year when I really feel I need it. I'm actually reading up on it right now because I've been told with my live and dry blood analysis that I need to do a liver cleanse. So I'm going to do a little liver cleanse here coming up. And I'll let you know how it goes, Stacy, because it's coming right here. So know that you can do them other times, but the best time for your body to really feel nurtured and supported is during these seasons. But of course, if you need to do it, you do it when you need to. The moment you unburden the liver, you increase immune function. What a powerful quote that we need to really pay attention to. You got places to write, and then we got summer. Summer products of the season. Look at all that's harvested in the summer in Mona and our France farm. Beautiful oils during that. And summer is all about adrenals and heart. So how many of you have tons of bottles of nutmeg that we've gotten for free that you didn't know how to use or you haven't used yet? Some of you are putting them in all kinds of blends for these holiday season. Fall is a great time to use nutmeg in a lot of the spices and seasonings. But I'm going to tell you to literally rub that nutmeg on your adrenals or pop it into your tea and do some affirmations for your adrenals. I am strong, I am whole. So where are your adrenals located? They're right above your kidneys. They look like little beans right above those kidneys. And I like to just take my hands, if everybody can join me, rub your hands together, rub them really fast, get them warm, and then take them behind you where they can reach as high up as you can. And you're most likely on your adrenal glands. And with that, take your heat. I would put some nutmeg right on that and put it right on the skin. No, it can be a little spicy. So if you need to dilute with a little bit of carrier oil if you need to, and hold there, close your eyes and say, I am strong, I am whole. I am strong, I am whole. And then take your scent tent and inhale that nutmeg in, and I am strong, I am whole. I am strong, I am whole. I am strong, I am whole. And Gary and I were pretty close, and we would trade off text messages often. And I'd say, you're using your nutmeg? Because I know you're using your adrenals. And he'd giggle and write something funny back. And that's just how we flow in the life of using our oils, is really knowing them, letting them speak to us, using them emotionally and physically. So this has a big protocol. The heart and adrenals both have the same movement sequence, child's pose, a baby back bend on your knees. You'll see in the video that, of course, you're not going to go into a full back bend if you cannot, but I have variations of what you can do there. And then camel pose is another pretty, it can be an advanced pose. So I have variations for you there. So please don't be afraid of the movement. Go check them out. And you can see the list of foods there that go along with it. But let's talk about what we can do there with our protocol. So Thyromin, it's our iodine supplement that comes from kelp. It helps support thyroid function using so many things, amino acids, herbs, extracts, essential oils. Thyromin is one of our staples. The way I learned about thyromin, this is something, if you take it in the morning, it's supporting your adrenals. If you take it at night and you want to take it right before your head hits the pillow, you take it at night, it's supporting your thyroid. So morning adrenals, nighttime thyroid. And there is a lot to be said about the how do I say it? Simple ways to check your thyroid with your temperature under your arm. And you can even Google that and it'll come up. How do I check my thyroid with my temperature under my arm? And it'll share with you how to do that because it's been around for decades. So you can work with your thyromin according to your needs in your body without feeling like you need to be diagnosed or prescribed to, because we don't do that. It's all about above the wellness line. So, but you can do some things for your body to read your body and the needs of your body as you support yourself. So that's a big one. Super Cal Plus, calcium, magnesium, vitamin D, and K with, this is a big one for me, 72 other trace minerals in Super Cal Plus that are easily absorbed by the human body and supports hydration. I really love how Gary Young compounded our supplements to have multiple uses and to support our bodies in multiple ways. So when you're learning about our supplementation, realize that he was an expert in compounding. Don't forget about Power Jize down here. We talk about it for exercise and sports supplement, but it's so much more than that because there's tons of studies on ashwagandha root for the stress and quality of life, for memory and cognition, and sexual performance. So check out Power Jize if it's something that you resonate with tonight when we're talking about this. Two of my favorite oils right there are Aroma Life and Ylang Ylang. Aroma Life is another daily oil for me. I grew up in a family that the heart is something that calls out to members in my family. Thank goodness, never me. But I feel more protected and better if I use my Aroma Life. So I often put Aroma Life on the bottom of my feet and up my legs and then on my heart. Ylang Yalang's one that I need because I'm very young, or yang, if you say it like that. And I need more yin energy in my life. So for me, Ylang Ylang is that yin energy. So you'll find me putting Ylang Ylang on the top of my head. So I like to just drop it on. Let me see if I can find my Ylang Ylang. I haven't been in my home office in a long time. I've been traveling a lot. So here's my Ylang Ylang. And I really like to drop oils right on my head and take that in. So that's one of them that, and I can just feel it. It feels amazing. So look at these for the adrenals and for the heart, your cortisol, read about it, learn about it, Endoflex, all around your soft organs and your neck area will help support. I talked about the nutmeg, and then go into your heart with all of these Cardio Jize, Power Jize. And again, these are summer supports if you're going to follow the products of the season. So life and business is like the changing seasons. You cannot change the seasons, but you can change yourself. Therein lies the opportunity to live an extraordinary life, the opportunity to change yourself by Jim Rohn. So that is the contents of this ebook that I hope you play with. I hope you share with your team. I hope you try out all of the movement sequences and really get into supporting yourself. Put your oxygen mask on first, and then share it with your teams, share it with your family, share it with your kids, and anyone that needs your support. Ask yourself every morning, where and how am I called to serve? And the answers will come to you of how you serve your body and your needs and how you will serve others. And that's something that I truly live by from my education with Gary Young. So any questions, I will open it up at this point because I like boogied through there. And now I want to answer questions. So if anybody's been reading the chat, I wanted to get through it so that you could get the information and then we can chat. Can they unmute, Amanda, or do they need to ask?
They can unmute and they can also write in the chat. Yeah.
Beautiful. What is the name of the ebook? It's called Growth Factor, Product of the Season. And at the very beginning here, I'll go back and I'll share that front screen again. Let me go back to the beginning and I'll share that first slide, and you can get it by taking in this QR code. Here, I'll give it to you. There you go. So there's how you get it. Take that QR code and it should pop open to it. If you have any trouble, let me know. Here, I'm going to try it myself so I know if it still is working. Yep. So you have to click on it when you do the QR code. It pops up youngliving.com. And then when you click on it, the ebook pops up. Okay. And then it's yours to share. It is owned by Young Living and it's yours to spread and share out there. Everybody got it? So I can stop sharing? We good? All right. Any other questions?
I have a question.
What are must-have daily supplements? Do we want to talk about that? What are must-haves? You know, it's interesting. It depends on where you're at. As a health coach of many years, I like to start with, is your body acid or alkaline? Do you know if you're acidic? Are you craving sweets? Are you craving carbonation? Are you drinking soda? Are you doing all those things? Then you need to get your body more in an alkaline state. So alkaline is a really nice product to help determine, you know, to help with anything getting alkaline. Ningsha Red is a nice product to help that. Multi-greens, Master Formula, all of those. But you can't go wrong with your superhero supplements, especially right now. Super C, Super B, Super D are huge. So some people go, wow, that's a lot. Choose what you're going to be most consistent with is what I'm going to tell you. If putting a sublingual under the tongue like vitamin D, you will stay consistent, do that. If drinking a little shot of Ningsha Red every morning, you'll be consistent with, do that. If taking pills are not your thing, don't start there. Start with the liquid. Start with things that are easy and ramp up. Okay. Any other questions that you guys are seeing? You know, I cannot talk about diseases or health claims or anything like that. We have to keep this to the point where we're high level compliance. But what I'm going to tell you is trust yourself. So another workshop that I teach at the yoga retreats that we do for Young Living is I teach a workshop called Deepening Your Relationship with Essential Oils. And I do meditation and teach you how to listen to your intuition. So many of you want to ask a question and you want to be told what to do. I'm going to tell you that even traveling with Gary Young, he never gave us protocols. He never said, you got this, do that. Not ever. He would educate us and say, did you get what you need? And he said, if you don't, come be with me again and I'll educate some more. And eventually it will turn on for you. The light bulb will turn on for you because you will learn enough that you can make your own decisions. So I am a teacher of getting you to turn on, right? To getting your intuition to guide you, to getting your knowledge to guide you, to getting you to invite you to just do the movement, to do the affirmations, to try out the product and see how you feel. I'm not here to tell you what to do. It's just not my style. It wasn't Gary Young style. I had to follow him around and learn. How many times, Stacy Kimbrell, have you been to that clinic to learn?
What's it, four or five times?
Yeah, that's what we do, right? We show up to learn. And as we learn about the products, we learn about ourselves. As we learn about ourselves, we learn about the products. And that's how, when you put the work into doing that, then that's how you go out and you become a diamond team and a diamond leader, because you have shared, you've figured it out for yourself, and you can then support others in figuring it out for themselves. That's the lifestyle. Yeah. That's that's the way I see it. So I'm not going to answer direct questions of certain health questions. I'm going to invite you to do this ebook and take it seriously, and take yourself seriously, and go on a journey. Yep. If there's puff, I don't like to call anything, like if somebody needs to shift how they look, I'm like, work on the puff. What is a product? Here's a question for you. What is a product I talked about today that can help you with puff? Anybody know? You can unmute and talk. I made a big deal about it. I made a big deal about what you can say.
The golden turmeric.
Yes. So where do you begin with a supplement? Somebody said, well, if you've got puff, if you stick your hand in your arm and it sinks in, or you stick it in your waist where I collect a little puff, I know that I need, or my calves, like my legs get bigger as I walk around in the day. What do I need? I need to influence that inflammation response that my body is having. What product did I talk about? Golden turmeric or turmeric. So connect the dots for yourself. You have the brilliance inside of you. Yeah.
And experimentation is like the funnest thing.
Yeah, you know, we used to call it trial and error all the time, but I don't like those words. I call it guess and check. Like, take a guess and then check in with it as you try it and see what happens. But that's a huge part of what we've had to do, right? We've had to experiment. And now I'm pretty proud of the fact that our website, our US website, has the descriptions that are pretty great about supplements. Mm-hmm. So go there and check it out. We used to guide people away from the website. Now we're guiding them to the website, and the latest and greatest information about those supplements are right there, right at your fingertips to learn about. And of course, you can grab all your references.
The website really has a lot though, so you almost don't even need our previous references. Of course, the previous references are the cherry on top.
They are the cherry on top for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for oils and things, I'd say you still need your references in a big way, because we can only say certain things. But for the supplements, they're pretty true to what they do. So that's a great thing about our website at this point.
Pam, you may know, and being on the 27th, I'm going to be teaching on all the different ways that you can use oils. So we always think about aromatically, topically, and dietary supplement. But we're going to go over like vaginal and rectal and the crown of the head and why, and the bottom of the feet and the spine and nose. So
all of those fun ways that we've all experienced.
Yes.
And
so hopefully people who are brand new will, or even people who maybe don't know, will be able to tune into that as well. So that, auricular, thank you. So people can, really understand how you can use these things, how you can use these oils. Yes,
beautiful. So Jordan Hawkins is asking, what about a picture like a non-vitality oil and dropping it into food? So I still, if you're using social media and things like that, I would use your vitality oils for your pictures. But if you're in an open area and you've got just the red labeled vitality, just tell them, hey, there's a white label to this. and it's a vitality oil. But I only have the red label right here, you know, that kind of thing. But the whole idea is that if it has a white label, it can be used all three ways. And as long as you verbalize that, I think you're okay. No other company followed us and did what we did to make the differentiation. And so we just went extreme with that, which is lovely. I like having the white labels because then you know that can be used all three ways. I actually like them. So I do take Mighty Zyme, this is Mighty Pro and Life 9 in the same day. Yes, I take them both. Mighty Pro and Life 9. Somebody asked that. Anybody else managing? What's the name of the ebook? I told you that. I'm looking through here. Thanks for sharing the references to the book, because I didn't go through that part, but you'll see them in the book. Any other questions?
Is there a quick reference on the colors? For instance, there's some bottles that are pinks and purples, which to me, it's kind of, I think it's like emotional oils possibly, or florals.
You know what? There's really no rhyme or reason to that. That's all made up. Gary did not sit around and go, well, this one needs to be this and this one needs to be that with a color code. That's not really a total thing. I'm going to tell you. That is something that people have made up along the way. Would you agree, Stacy? Have you ever known that? That's a made up thing, correct?
Made up. Sometimes they may be the color of what you're thinking would be, like lemon or orange, but yeah, there's no.
Yeah, I think it was more like cedarwood reminds me of this burnt orange color. It's not really, doesn't have a meaning for the chakras or anything like that. There is no rhyme or reason. There's no perfect code, I will say. Some of them make some sense that way, but there's no perfect code. Yes. And if anybody is interested in yoga with essential oils, I do have a virtual class. I don't always advertise myself. I hardly ever advertise myself because it's not about the money or the people, how many people come. It's about educating people about essential oils. So if you are looking for that, just look me up on Instagram or Facebook, and hopefully you can see that in my bio and join us, because when you move your body in these sequences and when you add the oils in and you really listen, that intuition starts to awaken, and the whole world of what to do when starts to talk to you. It's a beautiful thing. So thank you for inviting me to speak today, you guys. I'll put it in the chat. It's Pamela Hunter, FLW. So Fun, Love, and Wellness is my team name, FLW. You can find me on Insta or on Facebook. And in my Linktree bio, you can find all my YouTube channel and all those types of things. I've got all kinds of free resources out there. And then my yoga class has a monthly charger. You can do drop-ins as well. And it's virtual, so you can play with whatever. And in the descriptions, it tells you what oils I used for those classes. So it's something that I would like to spread more to the world of young living in some way or another, is lots more ways to get educated in movement. I think two of the things we just really need to do is put our oils on, and we need to move.
Yes.